Tabletop position is a position that comes up a lot in functional movement exercises and practices. So today we're going to address what tabletop is and how we hold tabletop position. So there are a couple things I want you to remember. Tabletop simply means knees over hips, ankles in line with knees, so you can picture that the shins are the tabletop. And you want to learn how to hold this position by balancing the weight of the body in the back of the pelvis or the sacrum. So remember the sacrum is that triangle right above the butt crack. That's the easiest way to remember it. You want to think that that triangle or the sacrum anchors down to the mat and our weight's held there and the abs supported. So we want to hold our tabletop position in our low abs, not in the quads, not in the hip flexors. So starting on your back, again, setting up like you would for pelvic tilts or bridging, flat on the back, feet parallel, knees aligned with the hip sockets. So like we were talking about, the knees in tabletop simply mean knee over hip, and you want to think ankle in line with your knee. A simple way to check where your alignment is, from where you're laying, you should be able to see the top edge of your toes, so bringing the other knee up into tabletop. So here, you want to remember what we talked about with our optimal pelvis, anchoring down, pulling the rib cage in and down towards your pelvis, and having a little space in the low back without arching and without tucking. So keeping that good tabletop position, and the focus here is the abs. So take a few breaths just holding your knees in tabletop, inhaling, feeling the rib cage expand, exhale, feeling the rib cage pull in, and really holding that connection down into your low abs. Now, the tendency is to feel all the tension to be held in the quads or the hip flexors. So remember, you want to find that neutral pelvis. So maybe you need to start with a few pelvic tilts. Find the neutral pelvis and just start with one knee in tabletop. So bring one knee in tabletop. Breathe into the rib cage. Exhale the ribs down towards the hips like a funnel to engage the abs. So hold that connection in the abs there. Feel the back of the pelvis, that sacrum, anchor heavy into the mat. And feel how you connect to your abs with a loose thigh as best as you can. And then obviously we'll do the other side. Knee and tabletop. Again, breathing. Ribs expand. Exhale. Pull the ribs in and down, funneling to the hips, connecting down into your low abs. Holding that connection, anchoring through the pelvis. Another way to help you get into those abs to hold your tabletop is when both legs are up, legs together, pull the inner thighs together, because the inner thighs start our abs. So pull those inner thighs together. Keep breathing the ribs down to the hips and pulling into the pelvic floor. So pelvic floor is very important. So you feel that connection down deep into what I like to call the crotch abs. Pulling it all together, low abs connected. Good. We'll release that because it's challenging to hold. And we'll talk about pelvic floor. So the way you know your pelvic floor is engaged, which could be TMI, but this is the best way to describe it, is if you were urinating and you were peeing, you cut that stream of pee off, pulling up the pelvic floor, and then the release of the pelvic floor is so that you can start to urinate again. So think of cutting your pee off and releasing your pee essentially. So feeling that pull up and in without squeezing the glutes and tucking, because you don't want that, because that's going to put you in your low back, and your tabletop will look something like this, which is not tabletop. Your tabletop here in proper position, engage down into that pelvic floor, feeling the rib cage pull in, inner thighs pull in, and just hold. So really working your breath here. Exhale. Feeling that connection, you should start to develop a little shake and shimmy in the abs. When you develop that shake and shimmy, know that you have found your tabletop in your abs.